Today I plan to explain story. Norman was a naughty child. Naughty means indecent, disobedient. They don't listen to their parents' words. They do whatever they want to do. So they don't listen their parents. What if their parents tell to do something, they don't listen to their parents' words, and they do on their own. One day, while running around in his father's study room, one day he was running in his father's room. He was running around in his father's room, study room. He bumped into an expensive antique vase. Antique means old object. Vase where we keep flowers in that vase, and we use usually vase can be kept on showcase with some artificial flowers or some real flowers. They use vase to put flowers in that vase. Sometimes they also use realistic flowers or artificial flowers. Antique means old ancient object that has art of work, and which is considered to have value. So here expensive, which is expensive means it's costly, very costly. He paid, so his father might pay much amount. So ancient, old time object that has art of work, which looks beautiful and also expensive. So this was, he bumped by running around his father's room. He hit the vase. When his hand struck the vase, it fell down from the tiny side table and broke. So while running around his father's room, his hand with forceful, while running, his hand struck the vase. So with that force, that vase fell down. That vase fell down from the table. Tiny means a small table, small side table. Usually they are kept on side of cot or a reading room. So on that table there was vase. So that vase fell down from the tiny table and got broken. So when his hand struck the vase, it fell down from the tiny side table, small table, and got broken and broke. Norman didn't know what to do. So he didn't know when the vase had broken, he didn't know what to do next. He took a broom. Broom means broomstick. We use broomstick to clean the floor. We sweep with the broomstick. So he took a broom, swept up all the broken pieces and throw them in the dustbin. So he took a broomstick. With that, he cleaned all the broken pieces and throw them in the dustbin, trash bin. He throw all the pieces, broken pieces of that vase. He throw in that bin, dustbin. All the pieces he put in that bin. That evening, when his father came home, he didn't notice that the vase was missing. When his father arrived, same day at evening when his father came home, he didn't see that the vase was missing. Norman meekly stood in a corner with his head bowed. So Norman meekly, quiet, he has become quiet, and he has stood in a corner side with his head bowed, means bent. His head was bending forward, and he stood at corner side. He was quiet at that time. So he was quiet and has stood in a corner with his head bending forward. After a while, his father sensed, after some time, his father felt. Sensed means to feel or experience something. Here something Norman wanted to tell him something. So he felt that sometimes when kids do something wrong, usually parents they know, they feel, they experience something their kids might have done wrong. That's why they behave like this. So here also his father sensed that Norman wanted to tell him something. What happened, son? His father asked. So he asked his son, what happened? Is something worrying you? So he asked him, is there any mistake? Is there any mistake that you have made? Because of that, you are worrying. Is there anything like that? Is something worrying you? I committed a very big mistake today, father. Norman replied slowly. What did you do? Asked father, his tone becoming stern. So he asked with his son, his tone becoming harsh. I broke your favorite vase into pieces while playing. So he said, I broke your favorite vase into pieces while playing. Norman said, his voice trembling. His voice was shaking while explaining to his father that he had broken his father's favorite vase. While telling this incident to his father, his voice became his voice was shaking when he was telling his father that he broke his father's favorite vase. His father looked at Norman quietly for a while. So it's after when he heard from his son that his favorite vase got broken, he quietly, silently looked at his son. Then he hugged his son and thanked him for owning up to his mistake. He hugged his son and thanked him for owning up to his mistake. So he confessed that he agreed that he made mistake. So when his son told that he broken his vase, so this thing made his father to thanked him, because he confessed, he agreed that he has made mistake. So that owning up to his mistake means someone does something wrong and they will accept their mistake. That is owning up to his mistake. Everybody makes mistake and they should agree, they should accept their mistakes. Norman was forgiven when he promised never to run around the house carelessly. Norman was forgiven when he promised never to run around the house carelessly. So his father also him, forgives him that when his son promised, him that he will never do the same mistake and run around the house carelessly. So when he heard Norman was forgiven when he promised never to run around the house carelessly. So his father uh, forgives his son when he said he will never do this same mistake by running around the house carelessly. So moral of this story, always own up to your mistakes. Own up to your mistakes means to admit that you have done something wrong, so that no need to feel guilty when when people do something wrong, and if they don't confess, they feel guilty that what they have done wrong. So when they accept, when they own up to their mistakes, so they do not need to feel guilty. I hope you understand this story. Thank you. Bye for now.